welcome at the Flagey, Studio One, with the Beren Gieren. This is Lieven, Fulco, and Simon. And okay. And so they're presenting this album, One Mirrors Many. And yeah, tell me what's the name about?
Hello. And actually, the name has got many explanations, and in a way, that's also what the title says. It's that one mirrors many. It's about many possible perspectives on the same subject, and also I think the idea first came when I realized that you have all these choices at the same time. You can do so much, and for every option you can. There's so many arguments. That was one reason, and then there's also a musical link, very much. Maybe you can talk.
Well, we play improvised music based on compositions, so it's every performance of the song is like a new version. So this is kind of the musical way of explaining the title, I think.
One could stand for a melody, for example, but there are a billion ways of playing it, and every time we try to explore new ways.
It's also kind of a philosophy to try to play the song every time different. If we do it the same for 3 evenings, for example, then it's becomes a little of a failure a little bit. You know,
playing
like
safely doesn't work.
Not for us.
And there's a little drawing on the CD, on the album, and yeah, it's very small. Anyone can see it. And what's it about? Maybe Lieven can tell me more.
I don't know if I can explain properly, but it's I see a bear and a vulture, so that's related to our name.
And it's uncovering its skin in a way, so it's to undress the bear, and undress the single perspective, maybe.
Oh,
yes, well, it's very deep. I know.
This is very serious.
And it's also about the Big Bang. One mirrors many. I realized.
Yeah.
Because there's one start, one source, and out of that, many mirrors, and that's life.
The previous CD had also some strange titles, and who invents them?
Mostly I do, but sometimes there's discussion. We change little letters like hoekjes and koekjes.
Yeah. Well, these titles are quite important for you as a composer because it's instrumental music. So it's nice if you have kind of that only the title can create a link to the real world. Like this title, Cookies 's Nachts, everybody knows what it's about. You know? Cookies at night.
We want to stay with our acoustic sound because we think it's characteristic of the band, our acoustic sound, and we just add little layers and little sounds on that. So it's still acoustic, but you hear sounds. But the source is always acoustic, so we never synthesize sounds. It's always a sound which has the acoustic instruments as the source.
Oh.
Yeah. And we are able to play with the electronics. It's never
We don't have presets.
No samples.
No samples, and we only try to use loops if it's possible to play on them. You know, we don't want to put ourselves too much in position of make it too difficult for ourselves to improvise, because we're still a band who wants to improvise. So we kind of made some rules about the electronics. It's easy to do too much with it, you know. So we said the source always has to be our acoustic instruments. It's bass, piano, drum. It stays the same. we have to be able to improvise with it. That's the most important thing. That it's not a fixed preset we start a song with a certain tempo, or because a lot of these electronic instruments can move you in that direction. I mean,
it can dominate a bit too much and then take over the music, and that's what we really wanted to try to.
And we thought it also would fit with the title, because you still hear an acoustic piano trio, but it's there's some extra layers coming through it. Some
mirroring the
yeah. There is it again.
Voila.
And also, I wanted to say something. It's electronic, but it's basically microphones on the instruments, and then we have effects on these microphones.
An important thing is also that you improvise. The record was made in one track at one time. One time, not one track. But then it's different all the time. Or how do you do this? You stick with some things?
Well, every time is different. The album is just a moment which is recorded. But so tonight will be very different than the album, but you will hear, of course, certain little elements will come back, like the building blocks of the music, like a melody.
Sometimes it can also be an atmosphere that comes back, but it's not
a groove, or we know that part is more a slow, lazy part. The chance is bigger that it will be like that again than not, but mostly it's always open.
And also important, you're a band. It's not Fulco and his band.
Fulco trio.
Yeah,
Sounds good though.
Yeah. Because that journalists sometimes they interview you most of the times.
The last 2 months or something has been a lot of me in the media. But it's really a band. People like a front, but it's not possible to say with this group. Yeah.
So the creative, you also do creative things?
Actually,
that's a bass player, come on.
It's a bass player.
Yeah.
No.
And
No, but we do a lot of rehearsals, so we work a lot together, but the notes on the paper are all Fulco's.
Actually, I write less and less. Actually, for this album, I wrote less and less, and I give it to the band. Just some little ideas, and the band we make it together.